Okay, here's a quick introduction to getting started with SAS. The first thing we'll do is, of course, open the program. So we see this icon here. You may have it on your start menu. Here's mine. And so SAS opens up and it asks us if we want to do a tour. You're welcome to do that, of course, but I don't want to do the tour. Let's move right into working with it. I'll maximize it. And the first thing you want to do to get started in SAS is go to the library area, right-click on it, use the right click on your mouse, and press New. And what we're going to do is create a new library in which to save the files that we would like to keep. There are two libraries we'll see in a minute that we're going to be working with. One is called the Work Library or folder, and the other is called the SAS Data. Although we could name it anything we wanted to, you could call it, SAS Giraffe if you please. But the path is. Hold on one second. Let me just create a new folder here. I'm going to call this My New SAS Data. And what's going to happen is so if we look at this, the My New SAS Data folder, I'll double click on this and press OK. I'll confirm that my folder is listed up here. If it's not, I probably didn't double click on the folder. So what's going to happen is when we're writing our program, if we want something saved permanently, a data set that we create saved permanently, we're going to put SAS Data. We're going to make reference to SAS Data and tell SAS, hey, save it in this library. And when we do that, it's going to write our data set that we've created to the folder that I just selected. So you can select any folder you wish, and that's where SAS is going to drop your data sets that you want saved permanently. This will make more sense in a minute. So we double click on the libraries, and we can see the SAS Data folder. There's nothing in it, which makes sense. We just created it. And then here's that work folder I was talking about, and indeed this one has nothing in it. So the work folder, as I said, that's the default. That's where our files are going to be saved if we don't make any reference in our code to SAS Data. So this is the Explorer window, and I would like for you to get very familiar with it. It's really important, as we'll see as we move on in our lessons. But this is also, when you get into the Explorer window, at least when I was starting out, sometimes I would get stuck and not realize how to navigate around it. But it's very easy. There's always this up one level button, and provided that I have clicked and activated the Explorer window, I just go up. And for me, when I go back to this, it's like going to the home page, if you will, with these libraries, and I see computer, and this is how I know to navigate. So by the time that we're done, we'll have lots of data sets and things in these two folders. And to give you an idea of what that might look like, and to point out that this folder here, or library, has all kinds of data sets that come as part of SAS. And so let's take a look at what a real data set looks like. I double-clicked on cars, and SAS brings up what I think is a really neat way to view the data. It's nice and organized. It reminds me of Excel, if you're familiar with that program. But I can. This is a great way. And again, this will make more sense once we start creating our own data sets. But this is how best to go in and confirm that your data was written in there properly. For example, as we look at these dollar signs, we'll see later that you can goof up when you're pulling dollar-denominated data in, and they're different. This is called a character variable, where the accurate MDX, as opposed to 36,200, MDX is character data. And again, you just want to make sure that gets in the way that you intended, and this is the way to do that through this window here. One important thing, once you've inspected the data, and let me do this again just to show you. So we were in this library, and we clicked on this. This is called a data set, what I'm holding now. You want to make sure that you close it. If you instead minimize it, and it's down here in this bar, when you run your SAS code later on, you'll get error messages, and it's impossible to figure out why. So make sure that you close it and recognize, if you want to take another look at your data, you just go back and do that again. So we're in a folder. This is the SAS Help folder in Explorer, and so we'll go back up to, as I say, kind of our comfort zone. This is that was one of 4 things to pay attention to when you're working with SAS and learning how to use it. The other 3 windows that you want to pay attention to, one is the editor, and that's where my cursor is blinking now. This is where we'll be doing our SAS work, and it's in order to demonstrate what I mean by that, let's create our first little program here. I'm going to call this data socks, and I'll explain how to do programming in the next videos, the videos that follow. I'm inputting the variables x and y, and this is a little statement that says, hey, data is going to be following here, and these are just numbers I'm pulling out of my head to show you what it's like to work with these windows. Oops, and that's a good mistake to make. Enter semicolon. We'll see that semicolons are very important in SAS. So now what I'm doing here is I'm asking SAS to create a new data set, and I want it called socks. And since I did not put SAS data and reference this as a library, SAS is going to assume what I mean is to save it in the temporary work folder. So this and this are equivalent statements. So to run it, we'll get in the habit of highlighting the code that we want to run, and you can right-click and press Submit Selection, or, which is what I like to do, it's a little bit faster for me, but you can also press this little guy, Submit, the little guy running the marathon. So I did that, and now this shows you the importance, the importance of what's called the log window. The log window tells you how it went, basically, for your code. Did it work? Did you get any errors? And it just, as the name suggests, log, it tells you what happened. So it says the data set work.socks has 3 observations and 2 variables. This tells me that it saved the data set successfully. I don't have any error messages, so that's a good sign. But let's confirm that it got in there. Oh, look, there's socks, our first little set of data. And so you can see we were successful. That's what we wanted to have happen. Nothing strange about that. We'll close this, and let's take a look to understand what the log does for us at what happens if we have a mistake. Here, this is something, major faux pas in SAS. I put a comma rather than a semicolon. So we're expecting that in the log thing there's going to be all kinds of mayhem. It's going to yell at us, basically. Oh, look at this. Yes, errors all over the place. No data lines or in-file statement. The SAS system stopped processing this step because of errors. Maybe incomplete. Warning, just general all kinds of danger. Look at these. The error codes most often are in this maroon color. So things have gone well if you see mostly blue, and things have gone badly if you see this maroon color. So let's fix that, and we'll put that back to a semicolon. Run it again just to show you. Actually, let's call this socks 2 and change our data just a little bit, just to show you how easy it is. We'll be doing a lot of just altering code that we've already written as we're learning SAS. And let me show you something else too. A lot of times, it can be confusing to realize what we're working with. So I like to go in here very often and do Control New and get myself a fresh workspace in the log, so that I know when I run this code down here, I'm right-clicking. I know now that what shows up in the log is only talking about the work that I've just completed, not errors from the past. So you can see in my work folder, I've got socks 2 is here, and we just dropped one of the what's called observations. We dropped the 3rd observations from our little input statement here. So that tells you something about the log, and I'm running out of time here. So I think I'm going to stop it now. We'll resume in the next session.